Well, who's in the mood for some comfort food? We got Salisbury Steak on the menu. Come on, y'all. Let's get it going. Okay, so we are starting off with 1 egg. To this 1 egg, we'll be adding a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Going to be adding some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. 1 tablespoon of that as well. We're going to be going in with 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Perfect. We're going in with a tablespoon of garlic salt. A half a teaspoon of seasoning salt. And we're going in with a half teaspoon of pepper. And I'm sorry, y'all, that was a teaspoon of seasoned salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. And we're going to get that all nice and mixed in here. And all the ingredients will be listed in the description. All right, so I'm going in with a half cup of breadcrumbs. Now, I just used some chopped up crackers because I was out of breadcrumbs actually. But you got to use what you got here. I just chopped those up and added that. So it's a half cup of breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're going in with a 2-pound pack of ground beef. Now, I'm using ground beef and pork blend. But you can just use regular ground beef or you can use ground turkey, whatever. But again, I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef and pork blend here. Okay, so we're going to get that your ground beef here all mixed into your seasoning blend. And you want to season that blend together real good in the bowl before you add the meat, because it just gives a more even distribution to the meat. You don't have to worry about if each section of the meat has enough pepper or has enough seasoned salt. Blending the seasonings together first and then adding the meat will eliminate that problem. All right, so this is the best way to do it if you ask me. Okay, so we're going to give 6 equal amounts of meat. So this make about 6 Salisbury steaks. And I tend to pat mine out in a round shape. Now you can pat it in a little, oval, whatever, however you like. But I'm doing round. And later on down the video, I probably should have done more oval. So it wouldn't take up so much room. But when patting it, whatever shape you decide, just make sure you get it flat enough so it will help with the cooking process here. So this is about the thickness I'm going for here. And I'm going to work on the rest of them, getting the rest of them all nice and patted. Again, whatever shape you like will work. Okay, in a cast iron skillet, and it doesn't have to be a cast iron skillet, but that is what I'm using. You want to add about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, and whatever kind of cooking oil you like will do. I'm using vegetable oil. Okay, now you want to make sure your pan is real hot before you add your first patty, because you want to hear that sizzle. Even though I'm doing voiceovers and you can't hear it, but you all know what the sizzle is supposed to sound like. And I am filming with one hand and cooking with the other, so you all bear with me. I have the wrong tripod, and I'm trying to just work with what I got today. So the camera may kind of go in and out because I'm struggling trying to cook with this one hand while holding the camera in the other. But I'm going to make it work. Okay, so we're going to make sure we cook these on one side for about 1.5 minutes on high heat, because we want to just sear it really good. We're not trying to cook it all the way through. We're just going to give it a nice good sear on each side. Okay, it's been cooking about 1.5 minutes, and we're going to flip. And as you can see, it has a very nice, pretty color. And if your meat doesn't look like this, remember that I am using a ground beef and pork blend. So that's the reason why my patties might grill up a little bit different than yours. All right, so about another minute or so on the other side, just to get the other side nice and seared as well. Okay, so when the other side is seared, we're just gonna take them out, put them in a casserole dish. All right, we're gonna grill up the last three, same way. Again, on high heat, just trying to get a nice searing on both sides. Perfect. That's exactly how you want it to look. Again, not trying to cook it all the way through because it is going to finish cooking in that gravy in the casserole dish in the oven. So just want to sear it pretty good. Okay, so that is perfect. And we're going to add these patties to our casserole dish here. All right, that's how we want it looking before we saute these onions. They're just waiting on that onion and gravy now. Okay, so before you saute the onions, you do want to get rid of the little debris that might be left from grilling your patties here. You don't want too much left in here. Now, you don't want to start with a fresh pan. You do want some of that good seasoning from grilling the hamburger steaks left in here. But you don't want any of whatever could have been kind of charred. You want to get rid of that. So I took about a medium-sized onion and I cut it in half. And I'm taking that half and I'm just chopping it up. This is about all the onions you need for this particular recipe. Now, if you like more onion, hey, do what you do. But this is about all I'm using. Okay, so we're going to begin to saute those onions. And I like to saute the onions by itself. Outside of the gravy, I like to do it just in the pan by itself because sometimes when you do it in the gravy, it can tend to kind of overcook the onions and kind of burn them. So this will eliminate that issue. So once they have the color you're looking for, you're just going to take them out and add them to your meat. And the onion process is done. I like to I like to bake my Salisbury steaks because I don't want to stand over a stove for 45 minutes. And this is the best way to do it if you ask me. All right, getting all those onions in this casserole dish. Okay, so now in a separate pot, we are working on the gravy. Okay, I'm going in with 1 1/4 cup of self-rising flour. And I like to use self-rising flour because it helps thicken the gravy much better than all-purpose. So that's 1 1/4 cup here. Okay, I'm also going in with 3/4 cup of oil. Just some vegetable oil. 1 tablespoon of pepper. It seems like a lot of pepper, but trust me, it is the perfect amount. Okay, now we're going in with some garlic salt here. And I think I put a teaspoon of garlic salt. And that's also a teaspoon of sage. We're going in with 1/2 teaspoon of seasoned salt. And again, all measurements will be in the description. Okay, so now we're going to take our whisk over high heat. And we're going to cook this flour in oil down real good till we get it to a nice boil. It's going to be good and bubbling before we add our water. And as you can see now, it's bubbling. It's been going for about 30 seconds here. It doesn't take long. Bubbling real good. You want it nice and hot before we add our water. And we're going in with 2 liters of water. And you want to make sure that your water is hot. Always add hot water to your flour mixture. The hotter the water is, it's going to come up to the temperature that you need to be that much quicker, and it's going to thicken that much quicker. If you add cold water, it just seems like it takes forever. So just always add hot water when you're making your gravy. Okay, and this won't take long to thicken at all, maybe about 30 seconds tops. All right, so it's been over this high heat for, like I said, about 30 seconds. And as you can see, it is already beginning to thicken, and just continue to whisk. Already thickening. It's coming along perfect, y'all. All right, so now we're going in with a 1/4 cup of beef base. And I'm using Members Mark from Sam's Club. You can also use Tones. I love Tones, but I can't find Tones as much. So again, this is Members Mark from Sam's that I'm using, a 1/4 cup. Okay, so it says boiling real good. Just taking that whisk, and we're working that beef base all in here. It's gonna have such a beautiful color. All right, so it has been over this heat now for roughly about a minute. I just recently turned the heat down. It has the perfect consistency, the perfect thickness, and the perfect color, and it is ready to be poured over our hamburger steaks, or our Salisbury steaks rather. Absolutely perfect. Didn't take long at all. Okay, so now we're going to take that gravy and pour it over the hamburger steaks. And you won't use all of it. Or if you did like do more steaks, like if you did like 12 steaks, you probably would. If you did more steaks, you would not, of course, need to double the gravy. The gravy is perfect. But you would just double everything on the meat recipe. Okay, you're just moving that around to make sure that none of the steaks are sticking together before they go in the oven. You're going to cover it. And we're going to bake on 350 degrees for roughly 35 to 40 minutes. And if you are using foil like me, I just put a few holes in the top of the foil to give a little area where the steam can escape. All right, so now y'all, it's out. It's been baking for 45 minutes, and look how rich that is. These Salisbury steak patties are so tender, just perfect. And as they were baking, you didn't have to stand over the stove. You can just go watch TV, do whatever you want to do. The oven is going to do all the work from that point. Turned out delicious. Y'all, I can just drink this gravy. All right, so I dressed it up here with a side of mashed potatoes. Doesn't that look good? Can't wait to take a bite. So we are done with the Salisbury steak, y'all. And you know I had to give me a little mashed potato there. So look how tender that's cutting, y'all. Fork tender. Oh my goodness. Oh man. That is the perfect Salisbury steak. So rich, so tender. Y'all gotta try this recipe. Hope y'all try it soon, and I will see y'all next time.